Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is April 2nd, and today's episode is going to talk about a new version of the Smart Node. We're going to be talking about Saturn Roadmap website and how that's going to look, which is really exciting. We're going to talk about a community call with AlphaGrowth, and on top of that, we're going to be talking about some stuff with NodeSet leading on from yesterday. So let's get started.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
So the place to start is this new version of a smart node, and this is the first version of a smart node since February 20th. So it's been 6 weeks since we got our last version. This is 1.15.4, and it says, Fornax here says this release comes with important client upgrades. It deprecates the Husky testnet and adds support to the new Hoodie testnet. And for users previously using Husky testnet, please make sure to run Rocket Pool service terminate to clean up your environment before installing the new version. And then there's a link to the GitHub to get all the information. But this one has a lot of updates to clients. So it has Geth, Bisu, Nethermind, Prism, Teku, Lodestar, Nimbus, Lighthouse. And it also has Reth, MEV Boost, and Node Exporter. I don't even know what Node Exporter is. So yeah, there's a lot of updates there. Then we've got some smart node changes as well. So it says the execution and consensus suggested block gas limit parameter is now optional. Leave it blank to follow your client's default. Added a function to suggest config parameter values. Initially, users who left or maybe forgot their gas limit at 30 million will now be asked if they want to update to the current default when updating. Fixed the bug where a PDAO proposal dialog would not get cancelled properly. Removed some restrictions on proposal IDs. Added a missing flag to the minipool distribute balance command, and show delegate vote direction in PDAO proposal vote details and voting. So to install it, follow the guide as normal, and it looks like everything with this update was smooth. So that is, of course, as always, really good to see. So yeah, Smart Node version 1.15.4. There is currently no POAP, and I've not seen any POAP. So if I do see a POAP, I will let you all know. But as of this time, just assume that there is no POAP for this update, and we'll see what we get tomorrow maybe. Okay, so you all know that the GMC hired Sleety to do some artwork and cool stuff, design work, and some of the things that Sleety's been working on is like logos and banners for X and Discord banners and all sorts of things like that, and a logo for the IMC server, things like that. But one of the cool things that Sleety's been working on is this website for the Saturn upgrade. So it says, there's a timeline. It says what is Saturn and FAQs as well. So you can see here that we've got Megapool delegates, Megapool upgrade process, and now next is deploying Megapool and a whole lot of others as well. So this is really cool. These are the different things that are going into the upgrades, and they're kind of being checked off along the way. And you can read about them to see what the information is. This is a work in progress, so please keep that in mind. This is not final version of the website. This literally says FAQ question text goes here type of things. So play around with the website, go and have a look at it. It's beautiful, of course. It goes to it really taps into Sleety's design philosophies, which of course are really cool. But we need content, we need things to get cleaned up, and that should happen soon. So I think get your feedback in for this website and see what you think. So here, that's fine. So there's feedback, and it says this site can work well as a timeline, but also might be utilized as a one-stop educational hype site. I'm not sure exactly what it can become, but hope the community can see a use for it. We'll need community help with copy/content. I'd be happy to add some animated diagrams or visuals engaging stats to bring the update to life. So it says still to do. There's timeline copy that we need, FAQ copy or some other educational copy. Site needs another pass to tidy up some visual bugs once copy is done. Nav bar and menu needs finalizing, and links and URLs and stuff. I'll move to some other design items for now and leave the future of this site up for discussion for a week or so. I don't want to force it, but the opportunity for something cool is there in my opinion. So yeah, here Raman says, can we add anything about how Saturn impacts our ETH stakers? This seems almost entirely about node operators, right? So maybe there'll be some new additions made to the website, but that is looking really, really nice. So good, great first step from Sleety, and I'm hoping that we will see more. Some quick things, like it'd be nice if we could see like DevNet 1 is done, maybe light that green, and as we go along we get more checks and more greens. And of course, just need content and stuff like that. But I really like this black and gray theme with a hint of orange. I think it looks really, really good. So good stuff, Sleety. Okay, here we have news of a community call starting tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's US Eastern time, and I think 4:30 p.m. European time. So this is a community call with AlphaGrowth, and AlphaGrowth will be talking to Ken, I think, and we'll be giving information. So it says joint special guest from AlphaGrowth is probably Spartan, to discuss whether the DAO should source funding from bridge fee. Catch up with the discussion here, and there's a link to the forum where there's discussion. As I've been thinking about this, I think more and more that we should do something like this. Like, the amount of money that we'll get from Ronin is actually quite small, but it sends a signal that we're willing to do this. And then as we hopefully have hundreds more integrations, we can get a few dollars from each one, and it might end up being worth something to the DAO eventually, hopefully. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, let's move on to some staking news now, and we have an update from Lighthouse. And this is a client update from Lighthouse. Says we have issued a Lighthouse security advisory for a bug in our Electra consensus code. Please update all Electra nodes to version 7.0.0 beta 5. Mainnet is fortunately unaffected. More details below. So here it says there's a bug reported by Alex as part of the Pectra attackathon coordinated by Cantina and the Ethereum Foundation. We're very grateful to Alex finding this bug prior to Electra going live on mainnet. So this is the bug was in Lighthouse's implementation of epoch processing, and if exploited, it would have caused all Lighthouse nodes on the network to follow an invalid minority chain. Due to 1/3 of validators running Lighthouse, this would have resulted in loss of finality. Thankfully, the severity of the bug is tempered by Ethereum client diversity, and there would have been no risk of justifying an invalid chain as what happened on Haleski. That said, a consensus bug is very serious, and we haven't had one in Lighthouse for several years. The Electro fork is shaping up to be a complex beast, with consensus bugs recently discovered in several consensus-led clients. We're confident that we can still deliver the fork soon by devoting more effort and testing and fuzzing. So if you're a security researcher who would like to contribute, get looking at it. And I want to thank Alex again, and there's full information. But yeah, this is really great that it was caught, and of course that's the whole point of doing these attackathons and bug bounties and all sorts of audits and things like that. So yeah, I'm glad that was caught. So if you're a Lighthouse user on mainnet, then you don't really have to do anything. It's not impacting mainnet right now. But if you are using Lighthouse on Hoodie, then make sure that you are up to date on that. Okay, in yesterday's episode, I talked a little bit about Nick and Rhett and like what's going on with NodeSet and Gravitar. And Nick actually had an update after I recorded saying to all XRETH and XRPL holders, the only incentives on mainnet will be for the balancer XRPL RPL pools and should begin the next few days. Gravitar will not incentivize XRETH on mainnet. All XRETH incentives will occur on Linear. Earlier today, Rhett and I chatted with Linear and ZeroLend. Once XRETH liquidity grows on Linear, we can push forward with unlocking ETH borrow capacity against XRETH. As of now, there is an XRETH ETH concentrated liquidity pool on Nile where LPs can build a liquidity depth. This pool will be incentivized by Linear at some point in the near future. I'm sure that Nick or someone from Gravitar will let us know when that's happening. And he says here's more detail from Rhett about the status of Gravitar and Constellation. So let's actually go have a look and check in with Gravitar. So this was the post that I covered yesterday's episode where Nick kind of gave some of that information as well. He says want to give you a few updates. First of all, let me apologize by saying the communication has been slow. Frustration related to that is understandable, and we need to do better. So then there was some information about XRETH, the Nile pool, XRPL. So he says for XRPL, the immediate need is to deepen liquidity against RPL and improve the peg. For liquidity, we're urgently starting liquidity incentives for XRPL, RPL balancer pool. For peg, we're using RPL protocol revenues to buy XRPL from the balancer pool. And he says, for now, we're going to pause all GRI minting on all chains. So that's about their actual GRI stuff. And then when token, so they've been talking about token generation event for quite a while, but here Rhett says we were hoping to launch the token long before now, but redemptions and TVL shrinkage put us in a place where we felt like the token launch wouldn't do much good for the community in the project's current state. So for that piece, we're pausing until we find a better path forward with better product market fit and a path for growth. And there are a few pokers in the fire, and we'll update the community if and when a token generation event makes sense. So what's next? They're exploring adding additional products that bring benefits to all of us and to bring more utility to XRETH and XRPL, but we don't currently have anything to announce. So then Rhett spent a few minutes replying to people who'd kind of left messages. So here Rhett said, that they haven't rugged anyone. They apologize for communication. It says we definitely need to improve. Mage Style, who was the person who was working on the community communication stuff, is no longer with the team, but Rhett will try to answer questions. If you took part in the Delete the Deposit Pool campaign, that will end in mid-April, and they'll distribute the rewards by end of April. And then they're just explaining how they had some team turnover and they dropped the ball on the comms during that. They apologize, and they said that XRPL redemptions aren't here yet, but they're doing two things in the meantime. They're doing buybacks with protocol RPL and incentives to the XRPL, RPL pool and balancer. So yeah, that's the situation that is in, and I guess they just need to, once those redemptions are on, then you'll be able to redeem at peg with the protocol. So yeah. Okay, a couple of days ago I talked about how there was going to be a new call, a research call on Ethereum, and how one of the things they're going to talk about is staking, and we covered the post by Barnaby in that. And here Jasper shared an update from the call that happened earlier today. And he says, I just listened to the research call, and from what I understand, so this is Jasper pasting this comment from someone else. So he says, from what I understand, achieving single slot finality requires reducing the size of the validator set. The favored approach seems to involve phasing out low stake solo stakers in favor of high stake home operators who receive delegated stake from protocols like Rocket Pool, Lido, and Obol. This raises a question: how independent can a home operator truly be if they rely on these protocols for the stake that enables them to operate? Doesn't that in effect give the protocol significant control over the operators? Additionally, does this effectively shut down the issuance reduction discussion? Since these protocols earn commissions and higher rewards mean higher profits, wouldn't they naturally resist any move to reduce issuance? So yeah, it looks like what's happening is the researchers are kind of seeing that they need to change the profile of the Ethereum stake, the state of the stake. And one of the things that they might do is ask solo stakers to start running validators on platforms like Rocket Pool, Lido, or Obol. That is actually a very, 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 very interesting development. And at the moment, of course, this is just suggestions, but the discussion that came up with it was quite interesting. And then Gator says yes to the second paragraph, and reducing issuance is dumb. Ramana was kind of upset. He says, phasing out solo stakers, that's a wonderful idea from the Ethereum Foundation research team. He says, how about phasing out centralized exchange staking? And Sam said, where is this comment from? And Jasper replied later by saying that he copied it from a group that he's in. Ramana was actually quite upset, saying that Ethereum researchers need to stop getting paid. And yeah, he was just kind of upset with that. But yeah, it looks like there's some really interesting stuff going on there. So that is definitely going to be one to look out for. Okay, so next we've got some news that I don't fully understand, so I'm sorry about that, but it seems like it's a big deal, so I thought I'd share it with you. Joe McCann here on Twitter says the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, DTCC, announced a new platform for tokenized collateral management. And it says, this is kind of a big deal. So what is this? Like, let's have a look. Here, Samus in the Rocket Pool Discord explains what it is. It says the collateral management platform is an application on the DTCC app chain built atop LF decentralized trusts BISU blockchain. The DTCC app chain offers greater control over privacy, security, and data and uses DTCC Composer X. DTCC is giving our participants a robust digital financial infrastructure to help navigate the fragmented data landscape that spans traditional and digital networks. The platform leverages a scalable industry-driven framework rooted in open architecture and common standards. So it's built on Hyperledger, so it's a version of BISU that they'll be running. So here, what is DTCC? So DTCC settled the vast majority of securities transactions in the USA, close to $1.7 quadrillion worth of liquidity in value worldwide, making it by far the highest financial value processor in the world. DTCC operates facilities in the New York metropolitan area, multiple locations inside and outside the United States. So here there's some key functions if you're interested about that. So they do clearing and settlement, asset servicing, global trade repository, data services, post-trade ecosystem optimization, and digital assets. So this basically taps into this idea that everything is going to be tokenized, and with groups like DTCC offering to settlement of these things, it's just bringing that one step closer. Now, what's really interesting here is that they're making their own chain basically to do this. I was really hoping that it would be on Ethereum, but we're gonna have to wait and see how all that goes to see how it ends up playing out. And then here you have the press release about it from the DTCC. So they're announcing a new platform for tokenized real-time collateral management. You can go and read this. The link is, of course, in the description below, and you can get information about that from there. Now, here we had a new form to the SEC. Yeah, a new form to the SEC, and this is from Circle Internet Group. And you might be wondering, what on earth is this? What's going on over here? Well, here we have James Safar of Bloomberg giving us the information, and it's saying that Circle files for initial product offering, and this is IPO, so that means they want to list it on the stock market, and it looks like Circle's coming. So Circle, of course, are the people who make the USDC stablecoin. We've been getting a lot of information about Circle and the way they operate over the last couple of days from this filing, and there are a lot of questionable things, like they spend $500 million a year on operations and stuff. Why do they need to do that? But anyway, yeah, there's it looks like hopefully this will be the start of more positivity towards crypto, but from what I'm seeing, people are kind of pessimistic about this IPO. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to end today's episode. So thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I hope you all have a lovely day ahead, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.